A new government survey shows 1 in 45 children have been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. 1 in 45. Yet there are still so many misconceptions surrounding autism.
In tonight's Education Matters, Juanita Stevenson joins us with why many school districts are working to show people what it means to be autistic. Juanita.
Well, April was Autism Awareness Month, and many schools held activities to educate people about autism. In the Central Unified School District, the goal was to not only educate, but to inspire.
I like it. Sounds good. What do you think?
Yeah.
20-year-old Nathan Lumpkin is putting the finishing touches on his speech, a speech he will give at the 6th Annual Autism Awareness Event for the Central Unified School District.
I wanted to share my message by saying Fresno is a great city and school to go to, whether you live there or you're visiting. I would 100% guarantee and recommend coming to it.
Nate has Asperger's and is a senior in the Wayfinders program at Fresno State, a 2-year independent living program for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Our mission is that students are productive citizens of the community, and the goal is that when they leave our program, they are able to live anywhere that they would like to live, just like us, and maintain and have a job like the rest of us.
Nate has not let his disability stop him, and that's the message he wanted to share that evening.
I am in my last year in Wayfinders and will graduate this May.
Central Unified invited Nate to speak to not only show other students with intellectual disabilities what they can accomplish, but to also educate those who may not know about autism spectrum disorders.
If kids don't know about it and aren't part of it, they might treat people differently. And one of the things that we want to do here in Central is make sure that everybody's accepted and everybody is treated the same.
How many of you have heard that before, autism?
Educating students about those who have an intellectual disability starts very early in Central Unified.
When you have autism, maybe you don't like loud sounds?
The teacher in this transitional kindergarten class at Harvest Elementary uses an episode of Sesame Street to help her students understand what it's like to be autistic.
Autism? Well, what's autism?
Educators say it's important to teach students about autism and Down syndrome so they can better understand a classmate who may have an intellectual disability. Most schools practice inclusion, so at some point your child may be sitting next to a student with ASD.
The other thing is autism is very often not recognized. There's behaviors that some people who don't know think that is misbehavior or just being a brat or something like that. And I want these kids at a younger age to understand that that's not always the case.
At Houghton Kearney School, 7th grade teacher Terry May demonstrated what an autistic student may experience in class. Many students with ASD are sensitive to loud noise and experience sensory overload. Imagine trying to read with all this going on inside your brain. It was an eye-opener for 13-year-old Johnny Frias.
I lost my train of thought. Like, I couldn't hear myself think. I couldn't hear myself talk in my head. It was really terrifying. It was really terrifying. It helped me understand what people, or what autistic people or kids do, like what happens to them.
Awareness, understanding, acceptance. That's what this week was about for Central Unified students. It meant a lot to Hannah Henry, whose brother is autistic.
So I remember being a kid and other kids would stare at him, even adults stare at him. They don't know what's wrong with him when, he can't control how he speaks or how he acts.
One of the main points we're trying to get across to the kids is that people that are different are still people. and to treat people as people instead of maybe as a label is extremely important.
Now, Central has about 1,500 special ed students, and over 200 of them have been diagnosed with autism.
So this is a great lesson, starting at such a young age.
Yes, but you know, it's great to do that because they're going to have these kids in their classroom.
Absolutely. And the numbers, the frequency of this is shot up so much.
Yeah, it used to be 1 in 65. Now it's 1 in 45.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Juanita, thanks so much.